The lowest price ever. Upgrade, save, and celebrate before it's too late. Offer ends Tuesday. In-store only while supplies last. Restrictions apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
This is a very sad day for NBA fans who watch NBA games on TNT. For the past 35 years, TNT has been one of the NBA's broadcast partners. Barring legal action, the relationship will end after next season. TNT is not included in the NBA's new broadcast package with ESPN, ABC, NBC, and newcomer Amazon Prime. It's a $76 billion deal over 11 years. Amazon is replacing TNT, which means the upcoming season will be the last for the iconic Inside the NBA studio show featuring Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Ernie Johnson. TNT put up $1.8 billion to match Amazon's offer, but the NBA rejected it, preferring to go with Amazon's 200 million subscribers in 23 countries. The NBA needs to rethink this. Inside the NBA is the best studio show in sports. Folks are not going to be happy to see the NBA walk away from them. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Editorial, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
I'm the only doing it, you other ruin it. I'm too legit, go hammer with the foolishness. My nana said my grammar can maneuver this industry until I'm stupid rich, and now I'm stupid rich. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Assuming this is more than humorous, the pepper butterfly, my newest. In fact, the rumor is the way I prove it.
I'm a classic man. You can be me when you look this clean. I'm a classic man. Calling on me like a young OG. I'm a classic man. Your knees get met by the street, elegant, old-fashioned man. Yeah, baby, I'm a classic man. I burn through the hood like war. When everybody feeling so cold, I cool like that King Cole. And get a bit of my glow. I got charm.
I'm sorry I got to step on this, Jay, but this is talk radio. You can let it ride, Miles. You can let it ride, because I want to ask Jay Ellis why you chose this to walk out on today.
Oh, come on, man. Jadena put it down. Kendrick came in and blessed it. I'm just feeling real classic today. I'm just feeling like a classic man. I'm feeling real dapper today, you know?
Well, you are. There you go.
There we go. I don't know how to use a microphone, though, apparently.
That's okay. you are classic. So it works. It works.
Oh, man.
Our guest, as if you didn't already know, is Jay Ellis.
Yeah.
You know Jay Ellis as Lawrence in the hit HBO series Insecure. And Insecure, I must say this. I love Insecure for a lot of reasons. I love Issa Rae for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that they put Leimert Park out there.
Yeah.
This studio sits in Leimert Park. We are syndicated right now, so you're being heard all across the nation right now, in New York and Chicago and everywhere else, New Orleans, and don't get me started, Milwaukee.
Let's go.
All my affiliates will be upset now. I'm not calling their names. Philadelphia. And there are too many. I'm
Can't
blessed.
leave nobody out.
I'm blessed. Too many cities now to call all their names. And we actually just announced today. I didn't even get to this. It's been such a busy day. We just announced today that we added another 8 cities.
Wow.
Just added another 8 cities to our roster. So we are humbled and we are grateful to be heard in cities all across America these days. And as a result, we're heard nationally, but we're based here in L.A. And we're in Leimert Park. And I was saying a moment ago, just lost my train of thought there, talking about syndication. We're in Leimert Park. For those who don't know L.A., Leimert Park it's the Spizot. It's the spot here in L.A. It's our place, and this studio sits in Leimert Park. So when Issa did the show, it was great that she just showcased all of these locales in Southern California that we know, but the rest of the nation and the world got to see through the series on HBO. So you must spend a lot of time hanging out in Leimert Park filming.
Oh, man. Our base camp is the Crenshaw. Our base camp was the Crenshaw Mall.
Yeah.
Lawrence's first spot, actually, his boy Neil Brown Jr.'s character, Chad's spot when Lawrence leaves Issa and moves out and goes and stays with Chad, sleeps on his couch, is literally right up the street. Yeah. Me and Issa shot a scene right here at a little farmer's market, little joint right here. Her and Kendrick shot some scenes over here too. Like, we were around here all the time, man. Yeah. Actually, my final scene with Issa and Lawrence, the very last episode of the show, is literally right up the hill. Yeah.
What's amazing about that is, and this is some inside baseball, but it's kind of funny to me. So, as you saw coming in the studio today, there's all kind of construction going around the building. So this construction has been going on for quite some time now. And when the city told me they were going to basically confiscate my parking lot, to use it to put equipment for the construction, that they're doing a big rebuild from here. From my studio, about a mile and about 1.3 miles up the street, to where they killed, sadly, Nipsey Hussle. It's about a mile between my building and Nipsey's spot, Marathon. And so they're doing a lot of construction between here and there. There's an outdoor, there's a park, there's a performance area. There's all kind of stuff happening. The K-line train is coming down Crenshaw. So there's all kinds of construction going on in Leimert Park. That's what happens when the good white folk move in. Don't get me started. And they start gentrifying. Then everything gets upgraded, right? I ain't mad at the good white folk for that. Everything is being upgraded. The point is that the city confiscated my parking lot. And I'm like, where's my staff? Where's my team? Where are we going to park? So there's a church behind the building, the Good Shepherd Church. Let me shout them out. And I said, since they're basically there on Sundays, I said to the city, I need y'all to rent out that church parking lot.
I love that.
Help the black church, give them some money, rent out the parking lot so that my team has a place to park when they come to work every day.
I love that.
And you know what they told me? We will do that in 6 months, Mr. Smiley, but we can't do it for the next 6 months. I said, why not? They said, Issa has the parking lot. That's where y'all were parking when y'all were over here filming. So I had to wait till the show completely wrapped. And once, I hated to see it go off the air, but I was glad to see it go off the air. So I had a place to park my car to come to work every day.
Come on.
So that's my Issa Rae insecure story. I had to walk for 6 months, a couple miles. I'm just lying.
Issa run the city, man.
Issa runs the city,
man. You got to check in. You come in town, you got to check in with Issa.
I ain't mad with her. I ain't mad at her. But I didn't have no place to park for a long time. So I hated to see the show go off the air because I love the show. But I was glad that they were gone and we could park our cars in the parking lot. Anyway, just getting started with Jay Ellis. He has a new book out called Imaginary Friend. Did everyone have an imaginary friend or just me? I love that title.
Thank you.
Did everyone have an imaginary friend or just me? Adventures in Boyhood. And I just love it. Before I even get into the book, I just love when brothers go there.
Thank you, man.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I just love when brothers go there.
Thank you, man.
And Jay goes there in this book. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about his other work. We'll talk about his film projects. A lot to talk about with Jay Ellis, who I'm pleased to have join us live in studio right now on Tavis Smiley.
You're listening to Tavis Smiley. Tavis Smiley. Ranked number 45 on the Heavy 100 list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and Clear Skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Hey guys, do you want male performance in the bedroom and do you want it now? Get it in 47 seconds or less. For the first time, you can have instant male enhancement. Introducing Nox 47, the topical male enhancement that works in 47 seconds or less. Satisfaction guaranteed. Finally, after years of scientific research, our proprietary formula will allow you to perform in the bedroom like never before. Just imagine that little blue pill on steroids. No reason to settle and wait when you can get instant performance now. Forget about pills and potions that make you wait hours or up to 30 days to work. That's yesterday's news. Nox 47 is brand new. The hottest thing for men. And you don't need a prescription. Call now and get your free supply for a limited time.
To find out how to get Nox 47 for free, call now. 800-617-1621. That's 800-617-1621. Free bottles for limited time. Call 800-617-1621. That's 800-617-1621.
Let's get back to more of Tavis Smiley right now.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Yes, I am, yes, I am, yes, I am.
Jay Ellis is the man, and you can tell everybody that he's the man and that he's on Tavis Smiley right about now.
Yeah.
I am pleased to have Jay Ellis in studio. All music, by the way, this hour curated by Jay Ellis. He's giving Miles instructions on what to play, and Miles is just doing his thing. But all music this hour curated by the man, Jay Ellis. There's so much I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
I think I want to start with your backstory. I didn't realize we had this in common. Military family?
Yeah, man. My grandfathers,
Yeah.
my step-grandfather,
Right.
and my father, all Air Force. So
Same,
we moved,
well, for me, Air Force as well.
Okay.
Just my father.
Okay.
But my father was Air Force as well. Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
It's a funny story. You'll appreciate this. As you know, most military families move around.
Yeah.
That's why they call them
Yeah.
military brats,
Yeah.
right? You move from place to place to place. We started at Keesler Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Okay.
We get transferred to a place called Grissom Air Force Base in Indiana.
Okay.
We stopped. But here's why. Unlike all the other military families that move from place to place to place, we didn't do that because our family was so big that it became an economic hardship even for the military.
Yeah, to move y'all.
I'm one of 10 kids.
Okay. Okay.
So first of all,
Okay.
as you can imagine, there was no housing on the base.
Right, for a family of 12.
And Big Mama lived with us, so there's 13 of us.
Oh my gosh.
So there was no housing on the base for 13 Negroes, period.
Yeah.
So we always lived off base. But then it became an economic hardship to move us around. So my dad disappeared every now and then when he had assignments here or there. But that's how I got to Indiana, and that's how I stayed in Indiana. So unlike most military families, I did not move around. That's my story. What's yours?
Yeah, so we bounced around, man. So my parents did Germany, England, Philippines, Sacramento, Texas, Florida.
Wow.
And then I was in California for a while, Texas, South Carolina, where I was born, Oklahoma, where I ended up going to middle school and high school, in Tulsa. But we moved around a bunch, man. My parents, I think they also had that, like, because they moved around so much as kids, they had that spirit. They had that bug. They just moved nonstop. So even if we lived in a city for 4 years, we still moved 3 times in that city. You know what I'm saying? So I still went to all these different schools. I still went to 12 schools in 13 years because of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Does any? I'm jumping around here, but you'll take my point. Does any of that reality about your backstory that you've just shared with us have anything to do with your imaginary friend?
100%, man.
Make the connection.
Yeah, I think so. Two things. I'm my only child, so I'm the exact opposite of your house, right? My house was very quiet.
Yeah.
We had cousins living with us every now and again, but for the most part, my house was pretty quiet. And with all the moving around, I was constantly in a new environment. I was constantly in a new school. And I think also, I talked about this in the book a lot, like the 80s and 90s are this really interesting time because we go from a handful of television stations to this boom with cable and pay TV and ad subscriber TV, right? And so we go to this crazy boom, and so now you have all this mixed messaging coming at kids in a very, very different way. And I think my imaginary friend came into my life as a little kid to cope with the confusing time I was growing up with, plus all the moving around that I was doing. So I had somebody with me every time I went to a new stop that was built in.
Yeah. Jay's new book is called Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend or Just Me? Adventures in Boyhood. I said earlier at the top of the program how grateful I am to you for going there. Tell me why you decided to go there as a black man.
I just wanted to tell these stories, man.
Yeah.
I realized that as we get older, I found myself, let me back up. I found myself at the beginning of the pandemic. Obviously, I wasn't able to go to work as an actor. We didn't have protocols, so we couldn't be on set. We didn't know what it was, and we weren't able to go in. So, I did all the things. I downloaded Duolingo, and I watched a bunch of movies and TV shows, and I kind of was searching for something deeper. And I was at my mom's house. My parents live here in Inglewood. I was at my mom's house. My mom is like the keeper of records in our family. She has all the pictures on both sides. I'm flipping through pictures. I see myself as a baby, as a toddler, as a 10-year-old, as a teenager, all these things. And all these stories just started coming back. And me and my mom were talking, and I realized, it was a wild time. And also an iconic time in a lot of ways in terms of film and television and some of the music that we had specifically inside of black culture. When you look at Martin, Living Single, Living Color, Cosby's, Different World, and then you can add the music, Spike Lee's entire filmography, right?
Yeah.
There's so many amazing things that happened in that time. But what I started to realize is that imagination, that creativity, that play, it leaves us. And adultification happens. And all of a sudden, we have this coming of age much earlier than our counterparts. And so we lose some of that play that we still should have a little bit longer. And so a big part of this book was like, for me, coming to this realization that like we all need that. Even as adults, we need it. It may manifest in whatever way. It could be you playing a guitar. It could be you learning a language. It could be you going to hoop on Saturdays at the park. Whatever it is, we all need something that distresses us, that engages with other people, that allows our minds to kind of find freedom. You know what I mean? And not be so mired down and mucked down in like this very serious, very busy, very crazy world that we're in.
Yeah. This is getting good for me now, Jay. It's getting good, as I knew it would. What did having an imaginary friend, as your book title suggests, getting inside your own head, do for your creativity? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As a question?
100%.
Yeah.
It unlocked stuff that I didn't realize was there.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, bro, that I had been going around because every time I moved to a different school, I would be a whole new person. I was creating personas at every school that I went to. And I didn't realize that until I started writing this book. I was like, I tell a story about being a kid in Austin, Texas. We were living on Bergstrom Air Force Base. We moved off Bergstrom because my dad had just gotten out of the Air Force. And we moved to East Austin, which at the time was all Latin and black, right? Now it's gentrified. It's all condos and a Soho house and all that, right?
Leimert Park, as we were saying earlier. That's how it happened.
Yeah. And so, but I was saying, that school that I went to when we moved to that neighborhood, the school that I went to was 83 or 84% of the kids spoke Spanish as their first language. And the rest of them were learning English, and it was their second language. Well, I decided that I was going to be a Latin lover when I pulled up at this school. My middle name is Ramon. You know what I'm saying? We don't know where it comes from, but I can roll my R's. So I was like Ramon when I was popping to school. So I watch Univision. I listen to some Latin radio stations. I pull up to school, and I think I could fake this long enough to like get to my class where I was in a classroom that didn't move around. We primarily stayed in the same classroom, and all my kids spoke English as a first language. But anyway, that story made me realize that I had been creating personas my entire life. And then fast forward as an actor, that is what I do. I create these characters and I sit inside these characters. I live inside of Lawrence's whole life and I create, well, what did Lawrence listen to? Like, what was his playlist? What does he like to watch? What was his college experience like? And I was doing that when I was a little kid.
Each of us has a calling. Each of us has a vocation.
Yeah.
I say to folk all the time, particularly young people, that in life, what you're ultimately looking for is not a job.
Yeah.
You may have jobs along the way.
Yes.
But you're trying to find your vocation,
Yes.
your avocation, your calling, your purpose. Why did God uniquely place you here on planet Earth? There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And you have a gift. I say all the time. God has blessed you with gifts, many of us. And for every gift that you've been blessed with, there's also a corresponding need.
Mm-hmm.
God doesn't give you a gift if there's no need for the gift in the world. Watch this now. When your gift connects with its need, now you're living a life of purpose. You just trying to connect your gift with the need for the gift. But when you find that, that's the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Now you're living a life of purpose and meaning and value. I figured this conversation would go there, so in some ways I was kind of already tracking it. But it's fascinating to me getting inside your book to realize what you just said a moment ago, that you were really acting before you even knew it.
Yeah.
You're creating all these personas as you move around.
Yeah.
What do you make of the fact that you were living in such a space and your life was curated in such a way that you were already operating inside your gift before you knew?
Man.
Am I making sense?
100%.
Am I saying something here?
100%. Come on.
Yeah, talk to me.
It's amazing that it's crazy to me that I went this long through my career and didn't realize it.
Yeah.
That to me is what's wild.
Wow.
It wasn't until I sat down and started writing this book and started and I had to call my grandma and ask her stories and my other grandma and ask her stories and my parents, and then they would tell me all these stories, and then it really started to click that I was put on this earth to tell story. I was put on this earth to be a performer, to be a storyteller, and that is my purpose, to your point, and that is what I'm also passionate about, that thing. And I don't know that fully clicked for me until I sat down to write this book. I think for a long time it was a thought I had. I think for a long time I'm very passionate about my work and what I do, but I don't think I really understood the two coming together until I sat down to write this story, because I think the other thing is I get to live in other people's writing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, every day.
So it's a completely different thing when I'm reading someone else's words as an actor. I still get to perform and I still get to feel that need and do that thing that I love and that I am gifted at. But when you have to sit down and write the stories yourself, and that becomes a different part of the process. And so it's wild to think that I spent all that time living inside this thing and doing this thing as a little kid that I was ultimately full circle meant to do as an adult.
Beyond that particular and beautiful and brilliant revelation, was there any catharsis in this, or is that or am I overstating it?
100%, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because you start to realize the tics that you have, the behaviors that you have. Bro, I realize I lay on my side and cross my legs at my ankles, cross my feet at my ankles, because that's what my dad did. I watched that's how my dad would lay on the couch, or that's how my dad would lay in the bed when he would come home from work. And it's crazy, all these little tics that you have, or things that you have, behaviors that you have, and you start to realize where they come from, or why you believe a thing that you believe, because your my big mom said it when I was in Youngstown, Ohio with her, or one of my grandmas said it when I was in Sacramento with them. It's really wild to see all those things come full circle, and you start to realize you are the person that you are, not solely because of your childhood and your experiences, but they do play a big part. They have a heavy impression on you.
I want to circle back to your parents in Inglewood in just a second, because I'm getting a kick out of the fact that you're filming in Inglewood and your mom and daddy live in Inglewood. We'll come back to that in a second. But I've seen this, and I think you'll take my point here. I've seen this cut both ways. Again, having been the son of an Air Force officer, as are you. There's an advantage and a disadvantage to doing all that moving around.
Yeah.
And you know where I'm going already.
Yeah.
And we could literally do columns of advantages and disadvantages, plural, right? But just to be topical about this, to be surface about it, one of the advantages is you see the country.
Yeah.
You see the country.
Yeah.
You make new friends everywhere. You have different experiences, and obviously traveling, not just domestically, but indeed, as I say all the time, traveling the globe is a great teacher.
Yeah.
You learn when you travel. The flip side is you make friends
and you lose them.
There you go.
You lose them.
When I tell you, I can't begin to tell you the number of times I cried as a kid growing up.
Oh, man.
All the way through high school. Because I had friends who I got close to because they were stationed at Grissom Air Force Base in Indiana for a certain period of time. And then the transfer comes in.
And it's no contact. You don't get, it's no Facebook.
That's it. Exactly. Back in the day, there's no Facebook, there's no MySpace, there's none of that, right?
No Black Planet. You done.
None of that, man.
You out.
So talk to me about, if you can, the advantages of doing all that moving around and the disadvantages as you look back on it.
Yeah, I mean, the advantages of what you said, man. I got to see so much of this country.
Right.
And I got to meet so many different people. Right. And because what I found, and I'm not sure if your experience was like this, but what I found is the bases that we lived on were actually pretty multicultural. You actually found there were a lot of Black people on these bases, a lot of Latin families on these bases, even Asian families and South Asian families on these bases. And then there were obviously white families as well, but like you got to meet somebody who was wildly different than you and go to school with kids who were wildly different than you in terms of their background. So it does form you in a completely different way. I also think, like, I walk into a room, I got no problem talking to people. I have no problem looking you in the eye and shaking your hand and talking to you. If I know you, if I don't know you, if we both just flew in together and we just walked in this room, I have no problems with that. I think my ability to be a class clown, I think, was sharpened because of that, because I immediately had to, like, find new friend groups, right? Which was part of the persona thing. It was like, oh, well, what persona is people going to love? Like, how can I get there fast? I think the disadvantages for a long time, if I knew you for 3 years, it was too long. 3 years was a max. I'm like, that's too long. Like, what are you still doing? One of us got to go.
Yeah.
Because I was just so used to leaving every 2 or 3 years to go somewhere different that, like, that is what friendships felt like to me. That was relationships felt like that to me. Bro, I done lived in LA for 20 years. I probably have lived in 12 different places since I've been here. Like, I just moved so much because it was just so in my body. And I think, you know, that obviously creates problems when you get older and you're trying to settle down and you're trying to be a good friend and learn what that is, you know what I mean? Or a partner or whatever that is.
Speaking of partner, let me put you on the spot right quick here. The good news is I only got 90 seconds, so you won't be on the spot for too long. We can continue when we come forward. So 90 seconds, putting you on the spot. So the summer after my freshman year in high school, I cried all summer because there's a pretty little girl down the street who had moved in a couple years earlier, and I fell in love with her. And then the transfer papers came, and she was gone, and I was still there, and I cried all summer. My first heartbreak as a freshman, because my little girlfriend was gone. Did you ever have one of those stories?
Man, my first heartbreak was actually my third grade homeroom teacher. It was my third grade homeroom teacher, Miss Calloway, at Beatty Elementary in Austin, Texas.
I think I just triggered Jay, y'all. I think I just triggered.
It was a heartbreak. It was a full moment, man. I needed her attention. I needed her love, and I asked her to be my girlfriend one day.
Your teacher?
I asked her to be my girlfriend, bro. I'd actually taken a rose out of someone's rose garden, took it to school. I'd stapled my hand the day before. She took the staple out. The next day, I take the rose to say thank you for taking the staple out. After she takes the rose and smells it, I say, hey, will you be my girlfriend? And she looks down at me and she says, no.
Yeah. Jay and I have more in common than I thought. I did the same thing to my fourth grade teacher, Miss Pappas. So we have similarities here. What we don't have in common is that I've not written a book called "Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend?" or just me, Adventures in Boyhood. But Jay Ellis wrote that book, and we'll talk more about it and a great deal more about his career as a thespian when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. This is the Tavis Smiley Show.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. House Speaker Mike Johnson has some harsh words for pro-Palestinian demonstrators who burned an American flag during yesterday's protest in Washington, D.C. The Louisiana Republican said the protesters who sprayed graffiti on monuments and took down flags should face criminal charges. Johnson also mentioned a group of House Republicans later put up flags where the original flags had been taken down. We're now learning that new technology aimed at flagging guns at New York City subway entrances is expected to be set up as early as today. African-American Mayor Eric Adams says the pilot program involves metal detectors where subway riders pass through without stopping or waiting in line. He's hoping this will help make the subway system even safer. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Spectacular savings are happening now at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. You can get a Sleepy's Queen mattress for just $89.99, the lowest price ever. Upgrade, save, and celebrate before it's too late. Offer ends Tuesday. In-store only while supplies last. Restrictions apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
This is a very sad day for NBA fans who watch NBA games on TNT. For the past 35 years, TNT has been one of the NBA's broadcast partners. Barring legal action, the relationship will end after next season. TNT is not included in the NBA's new broadcast package with ESPN, ABC, NBC, and newcomer Amazon Prime. It's a $76 billion deal over 11 years. Amazon is replacing TNT, which means the upcoming season will be the last for the iconic Inside the NBA studio show featuring Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Ernie Johnson. TNT put up $1.8 billion to match Amazon's offer, but the NBA rejected it, preferring to go with Amazon's 200 million subscribers in 23 countries. The NBA needs to rethink this. Inside the NBA is the best studio show in sports. Folks are not going to be happy to see the NBA walk away from them. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580, where climate is king. Climate is king.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Blindster is a family-run business that began in 2010, and we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving
the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PATH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PATH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
He's rooting for everybody black. Everybody black. More of Tavis Smiley coming your way right now.
Jay, you didn't give Miles a song.
I messed up, man.
All right,
I failed you, Miles. I failed you.
Miles, you got that on tape. Jay Ellis says he failed you. Okay, Jay, I've never done this. It's kind of unorthodox. Give Miles another song.
Man, do you got a clean version of They Not Like Us? Okay.
So, Miles, let me know when you have it, because we don't normally do this way, but Jay Ellis is the man. So what Jay wants, Jay gets. If Jay ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So I was talking to Jay's ear off during that break, and so he didn't get a chance to give Miles a track. So I want Jay to just be in his groove for this entire conversation. Jay Ellis is our guest. The book is called Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend or Just Me? Did everyone have an imaginary friend or just me? Adventures in Boyhood. Jay Ellis, of course, we all know from the huge success. You ready, Miles? The huge success of Insecure. But before I get back to that, just make sure Jay is cool. Give him a little Kendrick, Miles.
I see dead people.
Dun-dun. That wasn't on the beat. Hey, was it on the beat? Oh. Hey.
To the cross, he walk around like Tizo. What's up with these jabroni?
Come on, man. Everybody should just stand a little taller when you hear this. You know what I mean? It just feels good.
The track feels good, and you can't fade Kendrick. Let it ride, Miles. You can't fade Kendrick.
You can't see him.
What did you make of the beef, though?
Listen, man. Here's what. Can I give you my real?
Give it to me. No, lie to me, Jay. Lie to me.
I'm gonna lie to you. There's a lot of people listening. I'm gonna lie to you. I remember LL Cool J going at Cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Jay and Nas going at it. I remember Pac and Biggie going at it. Fast forward, I mean, so many people. 50s had beef. M has had beef. So many people would have had gone at rappers, or had great rap beefs. There was a point to me where this was absolutely amazing, and I'll say it was that first week where I was like, "Oh, we're getting something that we had. This feels like old school hip hop. Like, I don't have to like you. It's okay, but I can also make great music and go at you."
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned for me. Then there was a point where I was like, "Oh, this is too many. It's just a little too much."
Yeah.
It's hard for me to. I look at, like, you know, one of the songs that was put out about Rick Ross was making fun of his $20 million home, man. Like, that's not. Nobody can relate to that. Like, when you making fun of his $20 million house on Star Island, I can't relate to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it was great for hip hop in the beginning, for sure. And I think, you know, that's a summer bop. And I think we got an amazing song out of Kendrick because of it.
Yeah.
Thank Kendrick. Thank you, Kendrick. But, you know, I hope they have found their peace and they can move on and there's no violence.
I wasn't. You didn't ask me, but let me tell you, since you went there, I want to follow you. I wasn't bothered by it initially.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put the word amazing on it like you did, but that's your agency, you know. But at one point, it got a little personal for me.
Yeah.
And it crossed the line.
Yeah.
It started getting a little too nasty.
Yeah.
And you bring in the kids.
Yeah.
And the wives.
Yeah.
And the girl.
Yeah.
Got a little too touchy for me.
I think we got to. There's still got to be a line. Like, you still got to respect a. You still got to respect a man. You know what I mean? Like, and his family. You know what I mean? The family piece, because them kids didn't ask for that.
Exactly.
Nobody's kids asked for that.
Speaking of a line, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I shared this line with them. I want to see how it falls on you. If you talk to, as I had the honor, you know, Sidney Poitier was a dear friend of mine. We had lunch for like 27 years every other Tuesday.
Love that.
I consider myself, you know, just blessed. There are other friends I've had, but that lunch every other Tuesday for like 27 years was amazing to me. So I know Poitier, and I've heard all the stories. And Denzel's a friend of mine. We boxed together, same trainer, Terry. Shout out Terry here in L.A. But if you talk to Denzel, you talk to D, or you talk to Mr. P, they will both tell you that their careers were made more, frankly, by the roles they turned down than by the roles they accepted. As a thespian, I know you get that. So talk to me about where that line is for you Since you mentioned you got to have a line.
Yeah.
If that applies to Kendrick and Drake, I assume that Jay Ellis applies that to himself.
Yeah.
Correct?
Not every job is for me.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Tell me about it.
And I've there's plenty of times where jobs have come to me and financially the jobs have looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But, something you said offline just a second ago is kind of how I think about my career is like when I'm gone, what's left?
Yeah.
And I don't want to do a bunch of stuff that I'm not proud of that's going to be here after me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do stuff that I'm proud of. I want to do stuff that people also want to go back and revisit.
Yeah.
And so I find myself at times, and I'm probably too picky and I probably say no too much. I joke with my team about this all the time, but no is one of my favorite words, man.
Yeah.
And I also say, like, I am grateful for the things that I did not get. I am grateful for the things I said no to because they weren't for me.
Yeah.
What's for me is for me. And I think I want to be proud of my work. I want it to be fulfilling. I never want to take a job for job's sake. I want it to move a conversation, move the needle in some way, or create an opportunity for someone else in some way. And so that's kind of how I look at all my work, man.
Yeah. When you look back on Insecure, I don't need to color this much more than that. We talked about at the top of the show. But when you look back on that series and your now classic turn as Lawrence, what do you think?
It's still hard to put in words, man. I think we say this all the time. I was with Prentice last week, who was our Prentice Penny, who was our showrunner, who's also from LA. I was at his house last week and we were just talking, and it's still hard to really wrap our heads around how much of a movement that show was at that time and how it put LA on a map in a way that no one had ever seen LA before. Issa's love letter to this city and black culture was something that we hadn't seen on TV in a very, very long time. And it was so unapologetic and it was so authentic, and it was told, it was also amazing because every single person on our crew lived in LA. Most of the people on our crew were people of color. So this was also their experience. So everyone was bought into Issa's vision from every department. And actors all the way to PAs, every single person, editors, sound folks, music folks, whatever. And I don't know, man, like it's crazy to think that I got to play the boyfriend that everybody loves to hate in Lawrence on this iconic show that'll stand the test of time.
So sometimes Negroes can take things too seriously. Sometimes we take stuff a little too seriously. Have you over the years gotten some of that on the street?
Oh, bro. I still get people still run up on me. Why you do that to my girl Issa? And I'm like, she cheated on him. What are y'all talking about? She did it. He just left the house.
Yeah.
What was he supposed to do? People still run up on me. Literally daily when I'm out, people run up on me and yell at me about what Lawrence did to Issa. I say all the time, my next book is going to be titled, I'm Not Your Boyfriend.
I love it. I love it, and I get it, and we all do. I confess this. When I first heard about Insecure, and I'm hearing about it from all these black women, and I'm thinking, well, clearly that ain't for me. And when I tell you, I got pulled in.
Yeah,
I got pulled in.
We had a huge, bro. Sterling K. Brown pulled me to the side one day, and this was like right after This Is Us. It had just blown up, and he pulled me to the side, and he was like, "Thank you for portraying a real black man who has feelings, who doesn't know how to use his words, who is frustrated or depressed, has a skill set, but maybe it isn't fully being used, went to college but hasn't fully seen his potential." And what I started to realize, I'll never forget, he pulled me, this was right after season 1, he pulled me to the side and said that. And what I started to realize is as I was out meeting people and talking to people all across the country, young black men of all age, black men of all ages, men of all ages, because even like I would have white men run up on me and be like, "I didn't get off my couch for 3 months," and I'd be like, "Okay, that was probably a different reason, but okay."
Yeah.
But what I started to realize is like there hadn't been a portrayal of a man like that on TV, right? There hadn't been a portrayal of a man who like stood in his own way and had emotions and was also frustrated and didn't know how to talk about depression, didn't know how to talk about love, didn't know how to talk about friendship, didn't know how to talk about all these things. And it was an amazing experience to be able to play that dude.
Insecure is now in the rearview mirror. But when we come forward, I want to talk about his forthcoming projects. He's got one with Too Short. We're going to talk about that. another one called Running Point. Before I do that, though, let me just ask, when your mama and them live in Inglewood where you filming, do you go to their house for lunch?
Oh, come on, man. Or I had them pull up, one or the other. One or the other. If I go to the Forum, I'm like, hey, can I park at your house? If I go to watch a football SoFi, I'm like, hey, can I park at your house?
It's good to have parents living in Inglewood these days, given all the stuff. Now the Clippers are going to be there.
The Clippers. I'm like, hey, man, can I park at your house?
Yeah,
you got parking is wild down here.
But do they charge you, though?
Nah, they don't. They don't.
To get in that driveway.
But you know they got people in their neighborhood.
I know they do.
It's crazy.
That's why, Master, your mom and daddy charge you get the driveway. His name is Jay Ellis. His book is called Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend or Just Me? Adventures in Boyhood. More with Jay Ellis when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
All I need is one mic.
With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. Just a few short months ago, California Attorney General Rob Bonta filed 11 felony charges against Diana Turan, an assistant district attorney for Los Angeles County. The charges allege that Turan unlawfully accessed confidential computer data, including police officer files in 2018, and continued to use them after joining the DA's office in 2021. Ironically, Turan, who is now on administrative leave, oversaw the Public Integrity Division, responsible for handling high-profile cases of police misconduct and public corruption, including the charges brought against LA City Council member Kern Price last June. To be sure, the case against Price has raised plenty of eyebrows. Indeed, one noted legal scholar has said publicly, and I quote, "Everything about this prosecution reeks," close quote. Could A.G. Bonta, with aspirations to become California governor, be punishing Turan for her role in D.A. George Gascon's police accountability agenda to curry favor with police unions? Could D.A. Gascon be using the case against Price to showcase his tough stance on crime and political corruption as he vies to retain his seat as D.A.? Honestly, I have no idea, but here's what I know for sure. Kern Price has been elected and re-elected by thousands of voters, mostly black and brown, who stand to be further disenfranchised if this matter is not handled correctly, which is why it matters to us at KBLA Talk 1580. When the prosecutor is being prosecuted, it seems to me that at the very least, there ought to be a thorough, top-to-bottom, independent review of all cases under Diana Turan's purview to ensure that none of these cases have been tainted. Justice and fundamental fairness demand no less, if public trust truly matters. And I hope it does. For KBLA Talk 1580, I'm Tavis Smiley. We welcome your feedback.
More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
So before I tell you where you can meet Jay Ellis for his book signing for this new book, Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend or Just Me, Adventures in Boyhood. I'll give you all that detail where you can actually go see Jay. Don't come down here messing with me. Line of sisters all down the street in Leimert Park. But he's going to be here in L.A., in the L.A. area for a signing. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But since we're playing Too Short, tell me about this project you and Too Short are doing.
Yeah, man. I'm doing a movie with Too Short called Freaky Tales. It was
Freaky Tales.
Freaky Tales, which is, is a Too Short song. Mm-hmm. Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck directed. They did Captain Marvel. They did a bunch of really amazing things. And Ryan actually grew up in the Bay Area. And Short was like one of his idols. And so he was like, I have this idea for this movie that I want to write. It's about 3 or 4 different events that actually happened in Oakland in the 80s. And he basically brings them all into one night. And I get to play Sleepy Floyd, who played for the Warriors.
Love Sleepy Floyd.
Yeah, on the night that he bust the Lakers in the playoffs and had a scoring record of like 29 and a quarter or something like that, that held up until Klay Thompson actually broke the same record for the league years later. Anyway, I get to play Eric Sleepy Floyd, and Eric's got a whole martial arts background. Somebody breaks in his house, they do something, they take some stuff, and then he goes on vengeance. And I have a very Kill Bill moment where I'm busting heads. I'm busting heads. No questions asked.
It's called Freaky Tales.
Yeah.
That's been Too Short. That comes out like next year, maybe?
That'll come out next year. It's an amazing cast, man. It's got Pedro Pascal. It's got Dominique Thorne, Normani, Jack Champion. It's a crazy cast. Too Short is in it. Plus he narrates the movie. It's amazing.
Tell me about another project I was just reading about called Running Point.
Yeah, Running Point, a lot of fun. Mindy Kaling created that with Ike Barinholtz and Dave Stassen. Kate Hudson is the lead of it, and she takes over this basketball team that her family owns, and now you very much have all these owners of other teams looking at her thinking she can't do it.
Sounds like Jenny Buss.
It sounds like a story. Jenny Buss is one of the EPs. Yeah. Jenny Buss is one of the EPs. Yeah. On the show, and it's the comedic take on her experience to some degree of taking over the Lakers.
When we come forward in our remaining moments with Jay Ellis, once again, the book is called Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend or Just Me? Adventures in Boyhood. He's doing a book signing coming up. Guess where? Inglewood.
Yay.
Going by his mom and daddy house before or after, I guess, to get something to eat or park his car for free.
You already know.
I'll tell you where you can see Jay Ellis when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
What's up? I'm Miles.
Hey, and I'm Jara.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich is how the flavors come together. First, I taste the smoky grilled chicken, then the pepper bacon with that maple bun, added with the sweet heat and the pickles.
I'm really sold on the pickle. It meets you in the middle with the sweetness and the heat.
It's spice-tastic.
Yum-licious.
Flavoristic.
The sandwich of the summer. The Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich.
Order the Maple Pepper Bacon Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Okay, I can tell you this about Jay Ellis's new book, Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend or Just Me? Adventures in Boyhood. I love this. Ready for it? Ready for it? Jay Ellis is going to be in conversation with Issa Rae. Jay in conversation with Issa Rae. If you are lucky enough to be in Southern California on Tuesday, August the 13th at 7 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood. That's Jay and Issa together. Tuesday, August 13th, 7 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood. That's just in L.A. But he's on tour all across the country, not just with the book, but also with his one-man show. All the stuff he's going to tee up for you right now can be found at jayllis.com. All of this, you ain't got to write it down. jayllis.com is where you can find all this. But tell me about the tour and a bit about the one-man show.
Yeah, man. So I'm doing about 12 or 13 stops, 14 stops over 2 weeks. I'm at the Harlem School for Arts in Harlem. I'm in Brooklyn on the 31st with Zakiya Harris. It was Zakiya Harris Dahlia. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a one-man show there. I'm actually taking 3 stories from the book and I'm going to perform them up on stage. It's a whole thing. I've been rehearsing. I'm on my way to rehearsal when I leave you. Mm-hmm. Then I go to Philly. I'm with Mark Lamont Hill.
Love Mark.
At Uncle Bobby's.
Yeah.
I'm in D.C. With Jason Reynolds, the amazing Jason Reynolds, the author. We're at MLK Library. Then I go to Chicago. I'm with Nate Marshall, who's a Southside Chicago guy. I'm going to be at Wilson Abbey there. That's another city where I'm going to actually put up the one-man show. So you'll get to see that. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm at my high school, Booker T. Washington High School. I'm so proud to be able to do that. Again, I'm putting the one-man show up there. Fulton Street Books also in Tulsa on the 4th. The 5th at Booker T. The 6th, I'm in Houston. I'm in
with who?
With Kendrick Sampson.
Oh no!
It's Lawrence versus Nathan, y'all.
What?
Yeah, it's Lawrence versus Nathan. Yeah, so August 6th, I'll be in Houston at Stages is the name of that venue. Again, I'll be putting up the one-man show there, and then, like you said, on the 13th, I'll be here in LA with Issa.
Yeah. Now, y'all can't see this. Well, many people are watching. If you're watching the live show on YouTube, you see this, or on our app, you can see this. But y'all saw what I saw, right? That Negro ran that whole list off the top of his head. I can't tell you what I had for lunch yesterday or what's on my schedule tomorrow. But Jay just ran that whole list of every city, every collaborator, every interlocutor.
Come on, man.
Every locale. I don't know how you did it, man. See, if Joe Biden could do that.
Hey, we'd be in a different situation. But you know what? We got who we need.
There you go.
She gonna do what she got to do.
There you go. There you go. Jay Ellis, what a delight this has been, man. I knew we'd have a good time, but not quite this good. So thank you. Yeah. I was very fortunate today. So many guests come in studio because I'm syndicated. I talk to folk all around the world, and so a lot of times it's just me and my imaginary friend in this studio. But today everybody came to see me, and I'm so glad you came, Jay. It means a great deal for you to come in, brother. The book is called "Did Everyone Have an Imaginary Friend or Just Me? Adventures in Boyhood." Again, he and Issa here in Southern California, August 13th, 7 p.m. at the Miracle Theater in Inglewood. But go to jayllis.com, jayllis.com, for all the details about the book tour, about the one-man show, everything at jayllis.com. Jay Ellis, you are the man, sir. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, bro.
Good to have you here. Just like that, 3 hours gone, back here tomorrow. No, tomorrow's Friday, right? Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's the best of Tavis Smiley. It's going to be tough picking 3 hours from this week. I think Jay Ellis may be one of them, Miles. Faraji, what do you say? I think Jay Ellis may get a repeat tomorrow. May get a reprise tomorrow. The best of Tavis Smiley tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in all week and until tomorrow. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. House Speaker Mike Johnson has some harsh words for pro-Palestinian demonstrators who burned an American flag during yesterday's protest in Washington, D.C. The Louisiana Republican said the protesters who sprayed graffiti on monuments and took down flags should face criminal charges. Johnson also mentioned a group of House Republicans later put up flags where the original flags had been taken down. We're now learning that new technology aimed at flagging guns at New York City subway entrances is